This is the plaintiff, Raymond Schofel. He says the defendant used to be his friend, but not anymore, because he won't return the 2 dirt bikes he loaned him in 2008. He also gave him a safe, an air conditioner, and 2 large concert speakers. He doesn't understand what got into this guy. He wants his stuff. The defendant refuses to give it to him, and he's here suing him for the $4,500 he's owed. This is the defendant, John Cassio. He says the plaintiff got himself into some trouble and started liquidating his assets. His longtime friend owes him a substantial amount of money, and instead of paying him, he gave him some of his things to pay off his debt. He thinks the plaintiff has fallen on hard times again, and he's taking a shot in the dark by filing this lawsuit and suing him because he simply needs money again. He's accused of holding on to a former friend's prized possessions.
All parties, please raise your right hand. Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. Raymond Schofel?
Yes.
You are suing your former friend, I guess, John Cassio, for $4,500 that you say he owes you for property that he won't return. Talk to me.
Correct. Well, would you like just the basic facts of this case, or do you want to know how we got here?
I want the backstory in a bad way. No,
very good.
Okay. Tell me what happened here.
Well, John and I date back to high school, being friends all through high school, and then probably a good 15 to 20 years after high school. Unfortunately, Your Honor, a lot of our friendship involved drug use, and look, I'm not shy. I'm not going to be ashamed of it. My past was my past. The good thing about it is I learned from it and I moved on, or I wouldn't be here now.
Okay,
but,
good for you.
You know,
How long have you been sober?
Oh, probably totally sober about 3 years now.
Good for you.
But it's an 8-year process in the making, because I got in trouble, and that's how this whole thing occurred. Okay.
When you say you got in trouble, what do you mean?
Okay, I
Law
finally got
enforcement?
arrested after years and years of being involved in the business. Okay.
Okay, when you say the business, you mean the actual merchandising?
Involved in drugs, correct.
No,
yeah.
but what do you mean, though? Selling it?
Correct.
Oh, gotcha.
Yes, in the sale of it, okay?
So during your dark period, you divested yourself of some items, and the items are 2 dirt bikes, a safe, 2 speakers, and an air conditioner. Why?
Well, what happened, Your Honor, was when I got in trouble, I had to sell a house that I had owned. I had owned a big house in Wantor. I downgraded into a small apartment. Goes without saying, I had a lot of equipment. I gave away so much stuff, yard sales for nothing, pennies on the dollar. But I had 5 decent things that I owned that were not only brand spanking new, but were worth something to me. Okay, so that's why I asked John, who was a good friend of mine at the time. I'm not saying he's a bad guy. And I asked him to keep these things for me at that time. And of course, there was no problem, because at that time, anybody did anything for me. I was the man. So,
okay. When you say you were the man,
well, you know, the people who...
You were the provider?
Correct. Since I
Supplier?
supplied stuff, boy, people would come over and wipe my butt if I asked them to. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And as a matter of fact, Your Honor, when I bought him the stuff and I rolled it out of the van, they were so new that the words out of his mouth exactly were, "Don't even give me the keys so that you don't have to worry about me using them," okay? That's
and
the
then
kind
you
of
gave him the
just
keys.
to give you an example of the condition. So I said, John, they're brand new. I'm going to get them back from you in a year, but take the keys and you and your boys...
What year was this that you did this?
This was in 2008.
2008?
Correct.
Okay. So you gave them to him, and you said, "I'm going to take them back from you in a year.
I've got a
You can
small
use them in the
apartment. Once I
meantime."
figure out what I could do, I said, you and your boys enjoy them, and I'll, you know, in a year or so I'll call you. And that's what happened. In a year or so I called them, and I got... Oh, they're not here, they're upstate at my house, which at first I wasn't even going to use them, but then they ended up upstate. And then that went on for almost 2 years. Oh, I'll get them next summer. After this winter, I'm going upstate.
Talk to me. What's your version of this whole story?
Pretty much the same, Your Honor, except that this was done at the time when he was selling off stuff. He was selling things off to all of our friends.
Did he sell these items to you?
They were in lieu of a debt. I helped him out many times over many years.
How much money did he owe? Wait a minute, but when you say I helped him out many times over many years, was there a specific debt that you...
It's just monetary, Your Honor, just monetary.
No, I know what debt means, and I know what monetary means.
sorry.
What I'm asking is, specifically describe the debt.
Spending money for him when he was on hard times.
How did you spend money on him?
By handing him money. So
How much money did you hand him and when?
Total was about $5,500 over the course of...
Do you have any proof of what you're saying?
Other than what other people know, the fact that he did have a job after this at a car dealership, and he used my vehicles. I lent him the vehicles to go to this job, and everybody knows that, the people, town, everybody like that. Outside of that, I do not have a receipt, Your Honor. No, I do not.
No,
We're
how about
friends.
like a promissory note? Or how about like just an email or text where you guys talk about how he's giving you this to pay? Now, I need to understand what you're saying. Are you saying you've decided not to return him because he owed you so much money, or are you saying that from the beginning?
From the beginning.
From the beginning.
He was like, listen, can we clear this up with this? I said, yes.
Your Honor, I didn't need any money at the time I gave him the bikes because I had just gotten in trouble. I was still loaded with money. I just sold my house. When I was first arrested, I didn't clean up my act. We were still in business, and I was still hooking him up. And that's why he would have done anything for me, and that's why he was willing to take that stuff and hold it for me. I didn't owe him anything at that time. Granted, I'll be honest with you. Afterwards, when I was not making any more, the judge sentenced me, and I was done with that whole game and didn't want nothing to do with it, and I was trying to survive with a job, and things were hard because I owned a house. He did once in a while. I'll be honest with you. We went over there for dinner, and he would give my wife money. And on the side, I didn't even know about it. I would come home, and my wife would say to me, "Oh, John stuck $200 in my pocket tonight," and said, "Don't tell my wife," because he was just like that. He'd be like, "Here, don't tell Ray, don't tell my wife. Here's $200 to help."
So then I have a question for you. How come you ended up filing the lawsuit?
Your Honor, I'm talking about once or twice.
Not $5,500 like he said.
Nowhere near that.
Okay,
not
come on
even
up,
500.
wife. I'm
Your
sorry,
Honor.
my dear. What is your name, Mrs. Schoeffel? Did you change your name? Okay, come on up. Can I just ask you why have 8 years passed? Why so? Why now? I guess
we were so close as friends. We didn't want it to come down to this.
Well, when did it come down to this? If you're telling me that years and years and
we
years
sent
and
him
years.
letters.
I
We
wrote him a
tried
letter earlier this year.
to
Yeah.
Let me
solve
see
it.
all the letters.
I wrote him a letter
Just
earlier
one
this year
letter.
telling him, John, January of this year, I said, look, I'm going to take you to court if it doesn't
No,
happen.
but when did you first hear him say that?
When I got a letter in the mail from the court saying I was going to court.
Oh, so he's never asked for it back?
No, there's been none of that at all.
Well, then I guess you're within the statute of limitations.
I've had nothing.
So he never 6 years ago asked you to give it back?
No, not at all. There was nothing to ask back.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So the guy waited 8 years to sue. Too long?
That's way too long.
What's wrong with waiting 2 years? Why 8 years? Why is it wrong?
Something must have happened after that made them want to go back in and go sue them, and it's too long.
Fair enough. But if it's legit, I mean, if he really wrecked the dirt bike, why should it matter whether it's 8 years or 2 years or 1 year or whatever?
I think everybody's in a different situation now. Like, who knows what changed? You can't go back after that long.
Boy, you nailed it. That's exactly right. Going inside the courtroom.
When was the last time that you spoke to him? Years ago?
I would say
3
like
years ago.
3 years ago, 4 years ago. And that was the last time. And then other times he wouldn't answer our calls.
Do you have a place upstate?
I do not.
Did you?
I do not. No, never did.
Did you ever tell them that the bikes were upstate?
No.
It's,
The
it's our friends.
bikes were in Oceanside, and they were they got damaged with Superstorm Sandy. So
Why don't you just tell them that?
I'm just telling you that they never asked me.
They had, so their first course of action, rather than talking to you, was to sue you after all these years.
That's it. I have.
I don't
nothing
believe
from them.
you. If your tongue came notarized, I can't believe you.
If there was some sort of notification or he tried to get in
I
touch
made
with me,
several
I'd love
requests,
to
Your
know
Honor.
that because I don't
The
have
My
letter-
any
stuff
of it.
was
letter
withheld from
alone
me.
is
I
a
made several requests to
notification.
get my stuff back.
The letter
I tried to be
alone is a
peaceful about it.
notification.
He was my friend. I thought we would be able to, negotiate this between us. And like I said, it has been a long time, Your Honor. But we had a 30-year friendship. So I didn't. That's why it took so long
But
to
he's
take it to
saying this
court.
is the first time he heard it,
Plus,
but he
Your
got
Honor,
a
it took
letter
me
in the
before
mail.
I got my head on straight.
Did you send it certified?
Yes, I sent
Yes, I
yeah,
the
yeah,
receipts.
can I
The
take a picture?
certified receipts are right here. Okay, so there you go. Now you know it's a lie. Okay, here you go. I don't. Listen, you're not stupid. That's why you're sitting on the bench and I'm not. Okay, here. I mean, literally.
Do you have the return receipt for the certified mail?
Is this it?
yeah,
Is it
yep.
everything?
Yeah, let me see that.
Yeah, this is it.
Someone's signature that he picked it up? That's what you were going to show me, right?
Oh no, it's not a signature. It's just.
Not return receipt requested, just
No, I
certified?
just sent it
Yes,
certified mail.
Okay.
Yeah, look, I'm not even mad, Your Honor. This is just, look, I just simply want to get back what's mine. I want my children to have a little bit of enjoyment out of them. I don't
What
hate the
year
guy.
are the dirt bikes? They're
2000
2004s?
2004s, correct. Here, these are all the receipts. Plus, there was a whole ton of equipment, Your Honor. There was helmets and chest protectors and knee protectors. There's $3,600 worth of stuff. And that's not even talking about my speakers, which I built, and the air conditioner
And how are they
everything
2004s and brand new when you give them to them in 2008?
else. Your Honor, the
Okay,
example
they still
of-
have depreciation value. You're acting as as though
Okay,
they,
no
you know.
problem, no
All
problem.
right.
That's fair. I'll agree with that. And look, I'm not trying to penny pinch here. Look, I just want what's fair. That's all. That's all I'm asking for, is something fair. I'm not here to get something that's not mine. I'm not force compromising you and putting a high number up there so that we settle at something that I feel was fair to begin with, Your Honor. Everything I did was completely honest, by the line. I'm not asking for more than I feel I deserve, and I feel like I'm not overstepping my boundaries in any way by doing this.
Do you have any evidence of the value of the safe, the speakers, and the AC?
I don't have any value of it, Your Honor, but I paid double than what I asked for each one of them. If you see, I put a label of $300 on each one of them because they each cost me about $600, and that's just the air conditioner and the speakers. My main issue is really the dirt bikes, just so that my children have those little toys back that they never that they were supposed to have their whole
Where
life.
are the bikes right now, did you say?
They were destroyed with Superstorm Sandy.
Do you have any evidence of that?
I do not. I couldn't make a claim because I didn't have any paperwork on them or anything. Again, this was a handshake thing, so.
I'm going to find that you're within the statute of limitations based on the defendant's sworn testimony that you hadn't even asked him yet for the stuff.
Correct.
Until recently. So the time starts to tick from the rejection of returning it. So that's a little ironic. And I am going to rule in your favor in an amount, not the amount that you're asking for, but in a depreciated amount of $2,500 verdict for the plaintiff. Good luck, folks.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So the plaintiff prevails. He gets $2,500, not the $4,500 he was seeking. Mr. Cascio, the defendant's come out of the courtroom. You know, it's rare when we see friends of 30 years face each other in court like this. I'm prompted to ask you, what do you think's going to happen to this friendship at this point?
I think now that this is out of the way, we could open up the doors and work on that friendship again.
You'd be willing to?
Without a doubt. We've been friends for way too long. This is silly.
Okay.
I think it would be the best thing.
And the $2,500, how about that?
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
That's it.
Well, thank you very much. Congratulations. Not congratulations. Sorry, you're the loser. Here comes the one who gets the congratulations, Mr. Schofel. You know, the big question here, again, the friendship, a 30-year friendship.
Yeah. Like I said in there, look, he's not a bad guy, and I would have no problem, working on our friendship again. My life has changed slightly, but, you never know what the future brings. My whole point here was just to be fair with this whole situation, and I have to say that justice was served. Compliments to the chef.
Well, you tell quite a compelling story. Thank you very much. Congratulations to you, and good luck with the friendship.
You too,
okay?
sir. Have a great
Very
day.
good. Well, Harvey, it might be a happy ending after all.
Okay, Doug, look, even forgetting about the statute of limitations, it's very important to start documenting all of the conflicts you're having with somebody else as close to the time that the conflict begins.